Hey everybody, it's Patrick. It is Tuesday night, and even though I did a hair video this morning, I am doing another video, which I'll probably upload tomorrow just to give that video room to breathe. Although the hair videos seem to do pretty well on YouTube. Everybody who's looking for that sort of thing tends to find it. This is the vlog stuff that I was mentioning before. I don't know if it's of interest to anybody else, but I think it'll be a good record for myself. So if hearing about theater endeavors is not of interest to you, that's cool. You can come back on Tuesdays where I talk about long hair, or Thursdays where I do a 3-ingredient recipe, or if you're here for the puppets, they show up in a lot of things that Peter's been bringing in the puppets into a lot of stuff, but they definitely show up on the weekends when we have George and usually Dog, or sometimes that asshole rabbit. So this is me talking about the theater festival that I produce and direct every year. It's called Suburban Holidays, and it is we are in our 4th year with this festival. I'm the one who brought it to our theater. I was very interested in doing a new works festival of unproduced plays by local playwrights, although we've changed that requirement because we found that opening it up to across the whole country really worked a lot better. We got a lot more scripts to choose from. It's a fundraiser, which means that it's not part of the regular season. Our subscribers, who are the people who buy tickets in advance for a reduced price, they have to buy an extra ticket to come see this so that we can use those funds directly as extra money to usually pay the mortgage on the theater building, because we put an extension on our theater a few years ago that we had to buy a mortgage for so that we could pay for it. And it has been a very successful fundraiser. In fact, since its beginning, we have been the most money-making show every season since it started, and I think that's because we keep the costs low. As producer, I don't submit any receipts for this unless there's a huge expense, because that's my donation to it, is that I don't, as a playwright, I do produce one of my own plays every time, but I don't take, we give an honorarium to all of our playwrights. I don't take that because, one, paying myself for a play that I chose myself, that doesn't seem right. And also because I'm trying to give back to the theater. And I also will just pay for whatever set stuff or props or costume pieces that we have to buy, because I think that it's good to give back to the theater, and I can do it. It's not a tremendous amount of money. And then even though we pay our playwrights, we pay them a small stipend. It's not as much as I would like to, but again, it is a fundraiser. It's not royalties. It's a royalty-free production, and royalties can be one of the most expensive things about running a theater. So this is part 1 of the series that I hope to do about what it's like to produce this kind of festival. It may just be for my own records. I've been wanting to document this for a while. If this doesn't interest you, if theater doesn't interest you, or what I'm doing on it is not of interest to you, come back on Tuesday for hair videos. Come back on Thursday for the 3-ingredient recipes, or if you like the puppets, well, they show up everywhere. They're always around in my house. But you definitely will see George and his friends on weekends, because I do that self-esteem series. But for this, I just figured I would talk about what happens at each stage. And right now we just finished with auditions. Auditions went very well. We had a tremendous number of people show up. And I just finished, I think I have one more person who needs to get in touch with me, one more actor, but I spent most of today in between doing work things, and then when I was off of work, calling people to offer them roles for this play. And then tomorrow, when I hear from my co-directors for this show, I get to call people and say thank you so much for auditioning, but we don't have a role for you, which is always tough. I hate that call. I really hate that call, especially since it's a local theater and I know so many people, and they're friends of mine, and I like what they do and I like them as actors, but sometimes you just don't have a role for someone, and that's part of the creative process, is rejection. So I've been on the couch today. I've been working from home today, and I have this huge stack of people that I needed to call, and I've called all of them. And then I have my my notebook where I have all of the roles for this production and also the next production I'm directing, which is directly after that, and that's called Almost Maine. So among them, I had about 25 people to call, I think, to offer them roles. The two shows that I'm directing this year. I'm actually directing the one that I wrote, which I don't usually like to do. I like to see what other directors do with my piece. But this year, it's a very physical comedy that, believe it or not, involves puppets. It's called Stuck, and it's about a guy who gets stuck in a chimney, and the puppets come in when there's a squirrel in the chimney, and the cat in the house gets out and he attacks the squirrel, and the guy's still in the chimney. Hopefully it'll be really funny. During auditions, people laughed at it, so I think I want to do more with it because I kind of wrote it fast. Right after the Fringe, I was behind. I'm still behind on a lot of stuff from Fringe, so I wrote it really fast, and I want to kind of improve it and make it a little bit more funny and really over the top. And then the other one is called Have a Very Merry, If Somewhat Apocalyptic Christmas, which is written by my friend Kim Zuckert. We've been friends for almost 20 years now from online. I used to blog. Well, I still blog, but it's just a private blog. And I started that in 1997. So yeah, almost 20 years. And that's how we met. She was also, at the time we called them online diaries. And so I've been doing that for a long time. So her play is also a comedy, and it's about a giant grasshopper that takes over a town on Christmas Eve. And that's going to be fun as well. So, so tonight I just wanted to say that I have been knee-deep in calling actors. It's been really interesting, people's reactions, because we did a casting call for this play, or this production. There's 5 plays in this production. Almost Maine, which I cast 8 actors for, and then Midsummer Night's Dream, which is the Shakespeare play, which has well over 20 speaking roles. So there's a lot of overlap in what people wanted to do, and I think some people wanted to do Shakespeare and might have gotten this. Some people might have wanted to do Shakespeare and got Almost Maine. Some people wanted to do this only and might not have gotten a role. So there was a lot of me calling people and saying, will you be in Suburban Holidays? And I'm really sorry, but you didn't get into Midsummer Night's Dream. And luckily everybody's been pretty good about it, but there have been some people that have been a little disappointed. And for me, that's always tough, because I know one of the reasons that I don't act, 2 reasons I don't act very much anymore. One is I'm not that great of an actor. I can come in and do a little silly scene or do sort of a, you know, I'm really good as a waiter or a butler or somebody who comes in and says, you know, someone's at the door. And then the last time I was actually on stage in a real production, I was in The Diary of Anne Frank, and I basically came in twice and said, be quiet, the Nazis are coming, and then I left. And that's perfect kind of role for me. But I also hate auditioning. I like auditioning, but I hate the call afterwards where they say, thanks so much, but we didn't, you know, because then I doubt myself and everything. And as a writer, just getting an email or a letter back saying your play wasn't chosen for some reason doesn't hurt me as much, because it's not about me, it's about the work, and it might not fit into the festival. Anyway, so this is getting kind of long-winded, but auditions are done. Next, we will have a table reading, which means that the actors will literally sit around a table, and we will sit there with scripts in hand, and we'll start reading it just so that we can get some ideas of what the characters are like. I can listen to it and basically figure out some of the blocking, and blocking is where you move the characters around on the stage. So you say you sit here, you come in this door, on this line you exit, that kind of thing. And to just start giving the actors some ideas about what I see in the play, and they can give me their ideas about what they see in the play and in the characters. And then we can also figure out schedules. 95% of directing, I think, is about scheduling, making your actors show up on a time that they can, and make sure it doesn't overlap with their conflicts or their, you know, or their bedtimes. Sometimes people don't do well at night. So that's the next thing. I will give an update. I think I will update about once a week, but maybe more often. And I'm going to ask my actors in both of these productions, both of these plays, if they'll be cool with me filming them and asking them some questions about the production and showing some rehearsal footage and just showing the whole process, because I think it's a really fun, fascinating process. I think some people might be interested in doing theater and they might like to see how it works on a community theater level. We're not professional. And if nothing else, it'll be a good record for me because it's the last year that we'll be doing this kind of festival. Next year is our 5th anniversary for this, and we will be doing a best of, so we won't choose new plays. And then I think we'll go on to doing something else for a fundraiser, because we've kind of, 5 years I think is a good run. Anyway, well over 10 minutes. I try to keep these short. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this. Like I said, if you want to subscribe for any of the content, subscribing helps and really, you know, I get to see who's actually interested in stuff. So if you want to follow along on this vlog journey about theater, that would be great. If you want to follow along and see what's going on with my hair, I do that every Tuesday. If you want to see me attempt to cook something that tastes good with 3 ingredients, that happens every Thursday. And if you're just here for that puppet cat and that puppet dog, they show up and tell you how to be good to self on the weekends. Have a great night.